Today's plan is a couple of reviews, so if you see me wearing the same makeup and clothes and stuff in the next couple of videos, it's because I'm filming a lot of things at the same time. Fight me. Fire review number 1, Hunting for a Highlander by Lynsay Sands. This is book 8 in a series, which I did not know before I picked it up, and did not figure out exactly where it was in the series until I was like halfway through. I realized that it was not the first book that she'd written about this family very early on, because there are constant name drops to other books and characters from other books in the series, and it's really obvious that that's what she's doing, but I didn't know anything about them, so that was kind of annoying in the reading experience. As you can tell, this is a romance novel, and as you might expect, it is basically just a romance novel. Main character goes to stay at love interest's house for a bit, and over the course of that, they super fall in love and bang a couple of times. And there's shenanigans, there's like plot things happening, but we all know what we're here for, and it's just the romance. I bought this to read it on an airplane because it requires approximately 0 focus or brain power in terms of like figuring out what's going on. It's really obvious what's going on. I found this very enjoyable, mostly because the main characters are really dumb and make really stupid decisions. I felt a little bit like somebody's grandmother clutching her pearls at some of the sex scenes in this book, just because they know they should not be doing this. And there are like real economic reputation killing like consequences to the actions that they're taking in this book. There shouldn't be because of misogyny, but it's set in the past or whatever, and people were sexist back then. They're sexist now, but in different ways. Anyway, and so I felt like a grandmother clutching her pearls going like, what are you doing? Just wait for like 2 days. You can wait for 2 days after you get married, instead of in an orchard in plain view of anyone who decides to go for a walk in the orchard, and there's literally so many people living at your house right now. You could wait for like 2 days, but no, they're dumb and they make dumb decisions, and I thought that was really entertaining. It's very stereotypical. So if you're not into the whole guy kisses the girl without asking and she doesn't even know his name, he's just really sexy and she's just really sexually into him, but the only way that he knows that is because he guessed, right? Like, there's not a lot of explicit consent going on, especially at the beginning parts of this book. You're always in her head, so you know that his advances are welcomed by her as a character, but like if this was real life, that would be really creepy, so like take that with a grain of salt. Like, this is... So I was telling one of my friends about this and they were like, that sounds like a bad porn parody of Outlander, and I was like, yeah, it does kinda, doesn't it? I mean, that's kind of the whole like Scottish Highlander romance subgenre. In any case, this was a good time. I would say if you're on... If you want to read about stupid people doing stupid things and like really ridiculous romantic nonsense, like shenaniganery up the wazoo, like it's all over the place in here. One of the biggest things, one of the things that happens in this book, it's so much that it's like a defining character trait of the main character, is that someone took in and like altered her dresses badly, and so her boobs are just falling out all the time. And it happens so much and so often, like she can't get a new dress to save her life. She's just defined by boobs are always falling out of her dress. So if that's what you're looking for, I recommend this because it is silly and hilarious. One thing I would say, as a novel, I would have rather that she like spread out the really intense porn with the really intense plot, because like the way it is right now, the first half of the book is really like sex focused, right? Like all of the sex happens, all of the explicit sex happens in like the first half of the book, and then the plot happens and they stop really having sex. Some of that for, like, obvious plot reasons, right? Like, for some of that there's reasons for, but then when they do have sex, she just kind of skips over it, and it's not nearly as, like, in-depth and explicit as it was in the first half. It's just kind of a, like, and then they had sex. Right? Like, kind of hand-waving it, and it's like, ooh, they had sex again. But, like, I don't know, I kind of would have rather they balanced that a little bit better for, like, more plot in the beginning, because really, spoiler alert, in the first, like, 50 to 80 pages of the book, the only conflict is the fact that the main guy is really, like, he really wants to have sex with the main character, but he can't because they're not married. Like, the only conflict is that he's sexually frustrated, which I don't think counts as a conflict. Honestly, I don't think that should count as a conflict. Yeah, so I kind of wish the plot started earlier, but again, it's just silly and stupid and fun, and I enjoyed reading it, so yeah.